Hi guys, and I am back, and I am in another video in the Edinburgh. I am in Shatter, just double checking there, and yeah, this is an interesting game. I wasn't expecting much from it. Not much really happened at the beginning, to be honest, but it's one of those games that builds up and builds up, and at the end, I did just under 100,000 damage. I know it's not an amazing amount of damage, but it's always nice to get, close to 100,000. And I came top of the team by a pretty big margin, bearing in mind I am in an Edinburgh against TE10 boats like Minotaurs, Zal, the Cabrosk, and the Yamatos and Montanas. So, pretty decent match overall. Before we get into that, because it is a slow burn game, I would like to just give a little bit of an update on what's kind of happening in World of Warships. So Public Test Part 2 is just updated, if you guys haven't known. They made a few changes, and this is going to end on the 2nd of March. The official release day for the new Russian ships is the 7th of March. So there's 5 days in between where they're going to test it all over and do the final changes. I did hear about some changes that were being made to the new Russian boats. I do need to find out more information about that. I will be putting it in my video for this week in World of Warships episode 2, so look out for that, guys. I'm building that. I'm researching really good information to do with that. But yeah, let me just pull up some information. But yeah, so interesting game, I would like to say. We do sort of are on the back foot for most of it, but then towards the end we managed to pull it back. Right, so Edinburgh. It's a T8 cruiser, light cruiser. It is the most powerful light cruiser the Royal Navy had during World War II. So this is the last of the non-paper boats. The Neptune and the Monitor are paper boats. It's a pretty decent boat. It is the one above the Fiji, and I do feel it's roughly the same, but it has more access to more useful tools. So it has access to the concealment mod, which I think is the main significant change compared to the Fiji. It has better HP and everything like that. It has the same guns, same torpedoes. I haven't looked at myself, but I do think the torpedo angles, the arcs, aren't as good as the Fiji, which does give it a little bit of a drawback. Some of the pros of the Edinburgh is that it has access to an enhanced version of the repair party. This means you can heal a lot more health than what you can heal in the Fiji. Okay, to get back into this game here while I go through the pros and cons. Akazuki coming up, and he's going to give me a nice big fat broadside, and I'm getting my guns nice and centered on him, and some shots fired. But I do lose my visibility in him, so I'm unable to shoot. However, he shoots back, which is exactly what I wanted. He could have escaped that without too much damage. This does seem like the last few shots I'm going to get on him before I move behind the island. He barely did any damage to me, which is pretty nice. Anyway, moving into sea, looking to cap. And nothing much particularly happens into the next few minutes as well after this. Anyway, so back to the pros and cons. Another pro of the Edinburgh is that it is very flexible. It's got hydroacoustic, which means you can spot torps, you can do spotting and smoke, you can use it for your team play, spotting aircraft, and so on. So yes, that's another good positive for the Edinburgh. It is good at anti-aircraft. I personally don't I'm not going to be running an anti-aircraft AA build on any of my British cruisers, seeing as I do feel that's too situational. As you can see here, I am not in a game with a CV in it. For example, if there were CVs in every game, then yeah, absolutely, I would spec AA. Well, maybe I wouldn't guarantee to spec AA, but that would definitely give a good reason to spec AA. Maneuverability is good. It's above average. I wouldn't say it's amazing. You can definitely control it nicely. One thing I well, I'm glad it doesn't have it really good to make it way too overpowered, but on other cruisers of this tier, you can have access to the speed up, slow down consumable. I forget what it's called, the engine module, whatever it's called. That would be brilliant to have on the British cruisers, but then that would give it a bit of a good advantage. So yeah. Cons: armor is very weak. You don't really want to get shot at by any large boats, and then sometimes actually angling would mean that you're going to be more likely to get citadeled by larger BBs such as the Yamato or Montana, for example. You are only really effective against lighter enemy units. Well, I sort of disagree with that. Yes, you are much more effective against DDs and cruisers, but you can be very effective against you're very effective against battleships that are broadside. So I do think the firepower on the British cruisers is fantastic, and I do like that you don't have AP and HE. I like the fact you've only got HE. And it's by far the shortest main battery range of a T8 cruiser, which is pretty sucky, really. You've got the same range as you got in T7, but overall, I do like the Edinburgh. It's just like a Fiji, with a slightly better concealment, and the Fiji is a brilliant boat. The reason why this boat isn't underpowered is because once you use your utilities to your advantage, you're able to do a lot of damage. And getting back into the game, yes, I did tell you that this would be a slow burn game at the start. I've done 10k damage and we're halfway into the game. I haven't really done much. Managed to cap the cap, but that was practically it. Now I'm deciding to move into the big cap with 2 BBs, 1 cruiser and 1 DD. Now I'm thinking, okay, well I can't take this myself. I'm going to have to wait. I'm going to have to wait and see what happens. I want to see how it pans out. I'm not going to rush in there because I will just die. Get myself behind an island and I should be able to look for a good time to make a decent play. Getting back to the Edinburgh's pros and cons, just before we actually get into the game, I know, right? Recommended builds. My personal build for the first 10 points, oh, here we go. Nice shots here, but anyway, first 10 points would be priority target. Absolutely, I'm glad everyone is now agreeing with me that priority target is really good. I've been a fan of it since the very beginning. Then I would choose adrenaline rush. You want to get as many shells off as possible. Then superintendent, because you use your consumables like no tomorrow. They are what makes this boat strong. And finally, for the 4th tier, I would choose concealment expert, of course. Now, some people often recommend to choose expert marksman to improve the turn radius. If you are going for a dedicated captain for the Edinburgh, I would recommend that, I agree. However, if you're moving up towards the Minotaur, which is what we'll be doing with this captain, I do not recommend it. So it depends what you're doing. So on my build, I am not choosing expert marksman. I am going to be going, I have actually chosen, I've got 12 points on this captain so far. I've gone for jack of all trades because I want to increase the time it takes for my modules to reload. Moving on from there, I'll be choosing things such as vigilance and survivability expert. Those kind of just improve my survivability and be able to make me last longer in the game. I'm not going to be choosing RPF. I don't feel that's a hugely useful tool to use. So I'm still sort of undecided, but I've got the main ones that I am choosing, which is good. Another one I might be choosing is smokescreen expert, because that is a pretty powerful tool, especially when your smoke is so small. Anyway, so now I'm going to be making a play. I indicated to my team that people should go there, and I gave a question mark to say, are you guys going to join me into capturing B? And I think they said affirmative. Yes, North Carolina said affirmative. So he's going to be joining me in B, which is good. So if there are any troubles, I'll be able to take them on. We've managed to take the advantage here. We've killed some more of their boats, and we have the advantage in caps. Although the enemy team is capping in our C cap, they haven't yet captured it. It looks as if the enemy have moved out of B. The North Carolina is moving over towards the Zao, which is sort of a good thing for me because it means I am able to go into B and capture it, which is what I want. One of the reasons why I'm capturing so much is because I have got the task where I have to do at least 2 captures, and I do succeed in doing that. I think I get 3 captures overall in this game, which is quite a lot of fun, Edinburgh. Right, I've still only done 20,000 damage, and I'm only 8 minutes left of the game. Unable to hit the North Carolina. He's round the corner. I'm going to sit here, and I'm going to be waiting for some boats to come towards me. They know that B cap is being captured, therefore they're probably going to start defending it. So I'm expecting to see some enemy boats join me in B soon. Again, we've taken a pretty decent advantage again. We took out 3 of the boats quite quickly. I think it was the Shimakaze. I think it was a Shimakaze. Got double strike, which is pretty decent. And I see an Iowa coming around. He doesn't know where I am. I can see him, thanks to my team spotting. I'm going to send these 3 torpedoes off. And in theory, he should hit, assuming that he doesn't turn out and start going faster. I usually do my torpedoes the most outer one being directly on where they're going, and then I move inwards. Pop my smoke here, so I can get as many shells into here as possible without him spotting me. I do not want to get his big fat 15-inch guns going into the side. Oh no, they're 16-inch guns. Yeah, 16-inch, big fat 16-inch guns going into the side of me. And I think I get 2 torpedo hits here, and quickly my damage racks up to 50,000, which is brilliant. I am detected. I did do a stupid mistake. I thought I was slowing down, but I actually pressed forwards. I'm actually speeding up, which is not good, especially knowing that what's going to happen next. Luckily, the Donskoy decides to get right in the way and finishes off the Iowa. So, brave or stupid move by him. A Yamato is also moving out. I'll be thinking about when my torpedoes are going to start reloading, and I'm detected. Who's that? Aha, a rune. Now, fires off some AP towards me, and he is not firing anything at the moment, so he must be getting some torpedoes off or something. I'm expecting to see torpedoes soon. I'm going to try and move back into my smoke, and let's try and get some of this AP off into the side of his boat, and hopefully get some citadels. 5k damage, not too bad, and again, my reload is nice and quick, and now a lot of the enemy are piling into him. Hopefully I get this shot. Come on. There we go, seems like the last shot. What I should have done here is I do start moving forwards. I shouldn't have done that, I should have carried on going backwards. And I wouldn't have hit this torpedo, it made no difference really. However, I do manage to get my torpedoes off against this Yamato. I know he's coming on the same rough direction as where the Iowa came along. And I'm still in the smoke. And my smoke is dissipating relatively soon. So I know that, there we go, it's gone. I know he's going to be firing at me, but also you'll see how thin my armor is. He fires a whole load of shells into me and just gets over penetrations. And here we go, last shot into the Yamato and take him down. So all that excitement happened within 2 or 3 minutes, and the game is practically up. 88,000 damage so far. There's 1 Zao left over. I'm going to move over towards C because I want to cap this. Now we know we're going to win. It's unlikely we're going to lose. So now we're just grabbing as many XP as we can. Now rather than attacking the Zao, because there's a lot of guys, there's the Iowa, the Kabrosk and the Shimakaze all after the Zao at the same time, I want to move around the back of this island, capture C, and hopefully get some pot shots into the Zao. But yeah, I actually really enjoyed this game. It was a pretty slow burn. I wasn't really expecting on it anything of it. Didn't feel like I was really racking up crazy amounts of damage, doing crazy amazing things the whole time. It was one of those slow burn games, but it was pretty fun to be honest. Edinburgh is definitely an enjoyable ship. It does make it a bigger challenge being up at T10 battles. Because you are more or less the same as a Fiji. I consider a Fiji being a rank 7.5. And here we go, I can just about get my shots over. towards the Zao. Yes, so I consider the feature being a rank 7.5. I do think it's quite powerful. I'm sure it'll be nerfed sometime in the future. But I do consider that the Edinburgh, on paper, is probably the weakest cruiser. You know, even including the what's it called? The New Orleans. Yes, the New Orleans. Anyway, yes. So considering the New Orleans, I do consider the Edinburgh the weakest ship on paper. However, because it has the heal, because it has the hydro, and because it has the smoke, it does make it playable. I think if you can put those consumables at any tier, and you'll be able to do relatively decently. I mean, obviously it's not a T10 ship. You'd have to, you know, do a lot of buffing to get it to be a T10 ship. But yeah, good ship. Anyway, so 7 seconds left of this, and hopefully I capture this cap just before he dies. But overall, really enjoyed this game. Just under 100,000 damage, and very, very good safe play. I was quite passive. I do feel that passive play is winning out overall. Anyway, this ship is about to die. 135 health left, and it is dead. Anyway, let's move on to the results.